Hello, this is going to be a tutorial on how to make templates using an auto clicker, the Auto Clicker 2021 app on Game of Thrones Conquest. So first, I'm going to refer to this template recipe, and we're going to start with level ones. So we're going to start with the flax leg wraps for the 124. This right here. So we're going to need the gold wood and poppy. So I usually start by going up here and upgrading all the way. And then we'll go down to the level one that we're going to need, which is the flax leg wrap, and prep everything like this. And then we're going to start recording. So hit the little center record button. You're going to want to hit forge. Sometimes you'll have to go back because the sensitivity whenever you're recording is kind of awful. So click that. Click forge now. If you haven't already approved the gold thing, you can go ahead and approve it and just back, delete all the extra clicks. Okay, delete those extra clicks. And so you should just have the one where you hit forge, the second where you hit the gold, and then up here at collect. And so you might be able to see already how it's slightly offset, where that number one on the bottom is above where the forge button is. Reason for that is because this bar shows up at the top where the third click was. So what you're going to have to do after you save it, I'm going to call this test level 1 templates. So after you make your first one where you have something up here in the bar, you'll just push it up to the top and it should line up correctly. So if we go back to the thing right there, I need 124. So I'm going to edit it. So to do that, you go into this wrench, click the thing you just created, edit it, and depending on your device, here's what I'm going to suggest you use for the delay times. This is kind of my go-to for templates because lag sometimes is awful. So for normal clicks, 1,000 millisecond wait time and 100 millisecond click time. And then whenever you're waiting on that collect bar to show up, I give it 2 seconds. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to set it to 100 just for this example and hit play. There it goes. And that's what it should look like. And so just to reset real quick, I'm going to go back in here. And let's say you haven't crafted anything. There's none of that. There's not that extra bar at the top. So whenever you start these, it will mess up because that extra bar gets created. And then the next click is in the wrong place. So what I would suggest you do whenever you start making templates is go ahead and make one. And then scroll it up to the top wherever you had it set at, and then go from there. So then it should account for that slight different formatting. There you go. So those are level ones. Delay time, whatever you want it to be. I would suggest going with what I did because sometimes you're going to hit some lag, and then if you hit some lag, it'll end up doing this. I'll show you real quick. Here. You might end up like this, and then whenever you start on your click, it'll just get stuck here, and it won't ever be able to collect because that collect on the top just won't disappear. So make your delay slightly longer so that you don't end up stuck in these situations. All right, let's go up to level 5s. So for level 5, we're going to use, I already have poppy, so let's do the wool bandana, which I'll need that right directional wood and poppy. Already have plenty of poppy. Let's look for right wood. It's called something else. It's called kingswood. I call it right wood because it faces to the right. All right. So level 5. Scroll all the way. get rid of your level 1, so you just have your level 5. I would suggest always keeping it in the same place. So format it the same, how I did, where this level 1 is collapsed, and level 5 is all you have. So just like before, now we're in a unique situation where these are kind of offset, and so you don't really want to mess that up and click on the wrong thing, like use your Tobo gear. So whenever you set up your third click, it's going to be important to keep track of what you have. So presumably you're going to be done with all your level 1 templates before you start doing level 5s. And this first box will be where your templates are after you restart the game. But sometimes they're not, so you just have to pay attention to where your template is. So let's start by creating that line on the top. So I'm going to make one. There we go. Now scroll up, and I'm going to start my recording. If it doesn't actually do anything, you might have to go back and click again until it responds. Hit forge, hit collect, and stop. I'm going to name this test level 5 template. And I'm going to go up here into this wrench, edit it, and just like I did before with my OCD, I'm going to set my delays to be the same. The one that is right before the collect, so if you click the eyeball, it'll show you where the click is. So the last one is the collection. The one right before the collection is the one that I always make the longest. So 2000, and the rest can just be 1000. And this last one, I'm setting it to 500 because this cycle interval right here is already defaulted to 500 milliseconds. So 500 plus 500 is 1000. That's why I'm not setting it to 1000. All right, so in this situation, we'll just do 5 and let it run. And there we go. It's working wonderfully. Again, you want to make sure that that bar shows up at the top before you set your recipe, because if you don't, then it's going to be offset. So let's say for whatever reason, once you get to this step, you run out of this template that's here and it's in a different spot. So the way you would change that is go into Edit, Details. Number 3 is going to be the one where you select your piece right there. So we're going to edit that one. And I'll show you, like if it's in a different spot, you hit this left-right arrow, and it will allow you to replace. And you can select wherever you want it to be. So if you want to do it here, you can do it there. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to save that. And just to be sure, I'm going to make sure 3 is in that same spot. Good. All right, so I'm going to make the rest of the template so I can make some level 10s. So I'm going to make, oh, see, whenever I go back, that bar at the top is gone. So I have to create one manually for it to show up. And I'm going to make 6 more so that I can make the level 10s. I forgot to scroll. So if you mess up like that, you can just press that pause button, scroll up to where it should be, click and let it run. I know this is very entertaining to watch. Okay, we'll be done. Let's do level 10s. So for level 10, we will do the copper pots. So we're going to need copper and those straps. Level 10 is a little bit different because you have more than one option. So I'll show you how I set that up. All right, so you have your copper pot and your straw hat. So you have the top and the bottom option. I usually set it up on the top right here because you always have the option of opening up level 1 and scrolling up so that it matches up correctly. And I'll show you how to do that. So first of all, do your prep work, and then create your first one so that you have that bar at the top. Push it back up to the top, and now we can record. If it doesn't click, just hit that undo and do it again. Click on wherever your template is. Again, if it doesn't register it, just go back and do it again. I don't remember what I named them before, so I think it was test level 10. So we're going to go into edit that again and set up the times. And once again, the second to last one is going to be the one that you want to have a delay, because it's the one that happens right before your collection. This one I usually do at 2000. You can do it faster. It's entirely up to you what your anticipated risk is. When I'm doing this, I tend to run into some lag, and so I want it to be delayed so I don't have to come check on it constantly. So I'd rather it work a little bit slower than have to check back on it. All right, so times are set up, and I'm going to scroll up again, and I'm going to do just 2 cycles so you can see it in action. And then I'm going to show you what I meant by the bottom option. So if you are doing one of the other level 10s that's the bottom selection instead of the top selection, if you click on level 1 and scroll it up to the top, you'll see that it actually lines up perfectly. Oh, shit. So with it collapsed like this, sorry, I have to redo it again so that top box shows up. So I'm going to just pause it right away and go back. So right here, 1 is automatically defaulted to where I clicked it. But if I want to do this bottom selection, the straw hat, I just have to expand the level 1 and scroll up, and it's lined up perfectly. So that way you don't have to create 2 different ones for the top option and the bottom option. You can just use this recipe for both. You just have to slightly modify your prep work and expand it like that. I hope that makes sense. All right, and I'm going to show you, you can also do this with level 15. So for 15, you're going to be using the golden wood, iron, and the redwood. You're going to be using exquisite mats. So go to level 15, scroll all the way down to the 2 different boot options. Okay, and similarly, you're going to do the prep work and scroll up before you do your recording. All right, so go in and modify the time because I'm a psychopath and I have to have it all be the same. If you want to set it up with speed ups instead of using gold, go for it, but your speed ups will change, and then you'll have to be constantly changing your auto clicker thing. So up to you if you want to keep updating it as you use up all your speed ups. So I'm going to show you how that works again. I'm just going to do 2 cycles. There you go. I'm going to start over so that you can see whenever I want to switch. So if I want to go to the well-heeled shoes, I just use kind of a visual indicator, so you can see up here where the barracks training capacity is. It's right up along the top. So you would just line it up so that it's similar, like so. Or you can do this. I'll show you another way. So after you've created one, you can start the thing and pause it. Okay. You can start it and pause it appropriately. There you go, pause it. And then you can just line it up however you need to, and it'll take over from there. Obviously, I don't have all that stuff pre-done, but you just scroll up to where you want it and then let it run. You'll see here that little top bar dropped off, so it's going to make the second one forward mess up. The same thing is true for any level after that. So if you want to auto-click level 20, 25, 30, 35, etc., you will follow exactly what I just did. Just to recap on one of the most important parts is if you want to change which piece you use as your template, you will have to edit the third click typically. So if you go into here, what is these level 10s? The third click is going to show you where the template pulls from. So if you want to use this first one, or the last one, or the middle one, excuse me, whichever one you pick, it's going to be chosen by the third click. So yeah, there you have it. That's how you make templates with an auto clicker.